Hello, America and the United States of Texas. It's great to be here. It's great to be here. Yesterday, we left New York City. What a relief. Leaving there for here, it's like waking up from a bad dream. It's like going from the Texans to the Cowboys. You know what? I don't even know what that means. I don't know anything about sports. It's like going from Joy Behar's bed to anything that isn't Joy Behar's bed. I'd even take a bed of nails. That I know. And thank you, by the way, for the gift basket. I've only been in Texas for one day, and I already got an AR-15. Yeah. Applauding an AR-15. I got an AR-15, a Bible, and Beto O'Rourke's balls in a pickle jar. That's an applause line. I'm kidding. We all know Beto has no balls. Even Caitlyn Jenner would tell him to grow a pair. I don't even get that joke. Remember when he said he was coming for your guns? And you said, yeah, try it, Nancy. This guy couldn't get a glue gun from an art teacher. And yet, he wants to run for governor. That's a joke. His odds of becoming governor are as good as Hunter Biden passing a drug test. Originally, I had Kat's name in there, but I realized Hunter's funnier. But like Beto, right now, the Democrats are running into a problem. Whether they want to admit it or not, America is more like Texas than it is like California or New York. That means this monologue's going to take the whole show. That means Americans want an America that is more like America. And like our show, a lot of people are coming here for that very same reason, especially from California, which makes sense. The U-Hauls are headed in one direction and the apocalypse in the other. The state, California, is home to the largest share of the country's billionaires and also the highest poverty rate. They build walls around their mansions, but turn your backyards into truck stop bathrooms, except with more poop. Which means as California goes to hell in a handbasket woven by progressives, the rich and powerful don't care. So everyone in between has no choice but to leave for greener pastures. I can't blame them. Everything in Texas is bigger and better. Even Kat has grown since she's been here. Yeah. I think she's at least 5'3". But Texas had a better COVID response than New York did, probably because your governor didn't kill more grannies than a badly placed slip rug. If only those grandmas had been hotter, Cuomo might have kept them around. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. So here's a comparison. Texas has no state income tax or inheritance tax, but California and New York have some of the highest in the nation, which means you, Texans, can have more money to spend on your kids. And by kids, I mean firearms. In Texas, the best college football team is named after a majestic, impressive breed of cattle. In California, the best college football team is named after condoms. In Texas, you have the bustling new Tesla factory and the home base of Elon Musk. In California, they have 39 empty cheesecake factories and a homeless guy living in front of each one. So one state is building cars and the other makes people live in them. In Texas, you have to build a wall to protect the border. In New York, we had to build a wall to protect women from our governor. In Texas, the state bird is the northern mockingbird. In New York, it's a greasy pigeon with one eye and a human finger in his mouth. We call that the doozy. In Texas, you have Joe Rogan. In New York, they have CNN, or what's left of CNN. Every day someone gets fired or arrested. They're so low on employees. Check out their new office assistants. Yeah. They're so desperate at CNN, some employees have been forced to harass themselves. New York has Hillary Clinton. Texas does not have Hillary Clinton. Texas has rodeos. New York has this. There you go. That's what you call a New York rodeo. A rat with a slice of pizza. They both go well together with a Chianti. In Texas, you have real cowboys who speak politely and know how to handle their guns. In California, they have Alec Baldwin. In Texas, a hoedown is a dance. Why bother? Why bother? All right. In New York City, it's what a cop says over his radio when a hooker is passed out on your porch. Yeah. And the two-step is when you have to jump over a pile of street feces. Texas is known for its beautiful cattle. That's kind of true in New York City. Yeah, talk about hoof and mouth disease. So here in Texas, there's a vast gulf between the residents and Mexico. In California, there's a vast gulf between the governor's ears. Here in Texas, you have the best barbecue in the world. In California, they put pineapples on pizza. That's like putting a mustache on Miranda Lambert. She could pull it off. In California, they have decaf, skinny soy, no foam latte. In Texas, you have coffee. And testosterone. In California, you have San Francisco. In Texas, you don't. In Texas, there are males and females. In California and NYC, there's just one new gender, and it's called loser. They use more hair dye than they do shampoo. In California, New York, you can smash and grab. In Texas, you smash and grab, you drop and die. In California, the homeless can poop on your front lawn. Try that in Dallas, and it's the last poop you'll ever take. In Texas, you produce heroes like Sam Houston and Davy Crockett. Yeah. But, you know, California produced this guy. Ugh. Yeah, I was handsome. True, California has Warner Brothers, Universal Studios, and Paramount Pictures, but Texas has The Greg Gutfeld Show. So, the difference is stark. It's a reminder of who makes the country work and how those people make it possible for the other idiots to thrive. You're the people who create a civil, lawful society, a place where the idiots who make fun of you can live. Right now, you see how the press treats the truckers. That's how they think of you. The truckers are a proxy for the typical non-journalist, non-media, hardworking person. It's you, your family, your state. So this week, we salute you, Texas, and the hardworking, fun-loving, ass-kicking Texans that you are. Let's do this, America.
Period.
Welcome to tonight's guest. You don't mess with Texas, and liberals don't mess with her. Host of Outnumbered and former White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. He shops only at the finest morgues. Host of Fox Across America, Jimmy Failure. She thought a 10-gallon hat was for holding her vodka. Fox News contributor Cat Tim. And finally, he's so big he blocks the stars at night. My massive sidekick and the NWA World Television realized, Jimmy, I can still smell the dead hobo you stole those boots from. You're a New York City cab driver,
Yep.
so you were exposed, literally, to all sorts of people. Are the people better in Texas, or am I just going for cheap applause?
No, you're absolutely not. Two quick things. I can't even insult your outfit. I think you did a good job of shopping at your favorite store, Forever 5'1".
Yes, fair enough.
But Texas is the America a lot of us grew up in. They have freedom and Buc-ee's. Everybody knows Buc-ee's.
There you go.
Buc-ee's, for real,
Yeah.
Buc-ee's is the only store in the world where you can get a club sandwich, an air freshener for your car, and a grenade launcher in the same aisle. But this is why when you hear things about Beto, for instance, okay,
Yes.
they say like, oh, Abbott's beating Beto by 7 points in the polls. It's actually closer if you count the points on Beto's license. Narrows it down a little bit.
That was good.
That was a you and me.
Think about it.
That was a you and me. It took a minute. But the God's honest truth is, there's a guy who talks on the radio here in Texas, on KTVB in Tyler, and I was at WBAP in Dallas. Thank you. Okay. I will tell you that Texas is never turning blue after what Biden did to the border. That's just how it works.
Right.
Okay? Selling Texans a Democrat after Biden is like selling Carnival Cruises after Titanic. It's kind of challenging.
Kaylee, always great to see you.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts about being here? You excited? You got plans?
Thank you. As you know, Greg, I'm a Floridian, and I feel like you guys are my brethren here in Texas. I mean, really. Seriously, I can't figure it out. We play the license plate game in Florida where literally, like, I sit and drive in my car. I'm like, there we go. There's Michigan and New York and New Jersey, and it's really fun. I'm sure you do that here. And I can't figure it out, Greg. Are Californians fleeing to Texas faster than the abused staffers are fleeing Kamala's office? I just don't know. But I think the answer is yes.
Yes. Yes. In Florida and Texas, you count license plates. In New York City, you make them. See what I did there, Kat? That was really clever off-the-cuff stuff. You can learn a lot from me. You know, I'll tell you right now, you know that the CEO, the president of Fox, is in this audience. We won't say where. What can you tell them to convince them to pick up Fox and leave and come here?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you about making that comment about me being a booze bag in front of the president and CEO. Usually I have to spend all this time worrying about whether she heard those things or not. But now that I just know, you've saved me so much time. So I appreciate that. There's a lot of things. There's, you know, the freedom, but also the big thing is that here, people do not hate us.
Yes.
Which is nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love you too. See, it's so nice. People like smile at you,
Yes.
and not in that like deranged, perverted way where they're laying on the street with their pants down, surrounded by bags of drugs. In New York, we got a lot of that.
Yes.
But just like normal people that are happy to see us.
Yes. It's
So nice.
So, Tyrus, the interesting thing about Texas, this is the only place where you actually look smaller.
Look, Gutfeld, just because Texas is the only place where a size 17 boot can be bought off the shelf, there's no reason for you to get an attitude, okay? And correction, the state bird out here is grown-ass man. This is still man country.
Yes.
Where you can open doors and get in a fight in a bar and still be friends by the time you go to church on Sunday. It's all good. So did you have a question?
What are you planning to do this week besides the show, Tyrus?
Well, my week, well, first of all, I'm excited to spend my birthday in Texas today. Thank you so much. Not going to bring up that you forgot. Thank you, Kat, for your warm message. I really appreciate it. Gutfeld, only working with you almost a decade, but nothing, you know, I guess it was just over your head.
I don't even, a lot of things are. I don't even remember my birthday, let's be honest. Right?
Right.
Yes.
Because you don't have a birthday, you have a birth week.
Yes.
You send out invitations a month ahead of time.
Yes.
But you know, Texas is a great place, and the one thing I would like to say to the Californians, because I grew up there before I got the sense to get out. You're welcome.
Yes.
But leave that progressive crap over there.
Exactly. All right. We got to go. Up next, can the Democrats stay alive by running on hatred of 40?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.